Welcome back to Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. Today's episode, powered by Hayabusa, is 6 tips to make your pad work look better on camera. In today's episode, I'm going to give you 6 different tips to make your pad work look good on video. So lately, I've been posting a lot on Instagram, different pad works, different types of training that I've been doing, and the different types of mix and matching of pad work that I like to do. So in this video, I'm going to show you 6 different things that I do in those videos that will help your videos look better, okay? Ultimately now, if you don't post it on Instagram, it doesn't really count. And we all want to look as cool as possible and as strong as possible. So these 6 tips I think will really help you out, because I can visibly see the difference when I do these things versus not do them. And the first thing is about full extension, right? If you're in camera and it's close to you, the first thing I look at someone is their technique. If your technique is very jammed, to me, it looks sloppy. It looks like your range is off, and we want to get it fast, and we want to get it going as aggressive as possible. But when you shorten your technique, it doesn't look as nice. The full length of the technique will make it look better. So even if I'm here, it's just not aesthetically pleasing as a martial artist. Good technique comes from full extension. If I'm throwing my kicks and I'm all tight and I'm not extending, it looks sloppy. So first thing I recommend, and I mean, maybe the average person watching might think it looks good, but the first thing your coach is gonna say, and someone who's experienced this, he's jamming his technique. So 1, lengthen the technique, full extension. Number 2, all right, there's always that balance you need. Is it power or is it speed, right? And a lot of times you think power looks better, but I'm going to tell you, speed actually comes off a little bit better. When you're doing that full extension and you're throwing it with speed, it just comes off faster on camera. Because I find the camera doesn't really pick up on the power as much. So even though you're hitting it harder, you have to compromise speed so it looks a little slower. So when I find myself doing those heavy power round kicks, and I felt like they were the fastest things ever, when I look on camera, they look super slow, right? So go for speed, and I guarantee you it's gonna look more powerful automatically. Now, the third thing, which is I think a mistake a lot of beginners make when doing pad work, they see these big, long pad work sequences, right? These combinations that some of these boxers have could be over 100 sequences, and I don't even think I can do that, to be honest with you. But the key to a good combination on video is having good basic combinations sequenced together. This way you don't have to think. And this is honestly a trick for memory tests and all those kind of things. You want to chunk information so it's easier to recall. And the same thing happens with your pad work. So my pad work might be 12 strikes long, but it's not a 12-strike combination. It's actually 3 or 4 strike combinations built together. So this way, when you attack on that first combo, you could attack without thinking, and the pad holder doesn't have to think. So you put 3 combinations together, what I call here at Bazooka Kickboxing, a 3-combo drill. So this way, all of a sudden, you don't think, it's got full intensity, and you can bring as much speed as possible, okay? So a good example would be, right, instead of being the sequence, jab, then I want a cross, then a hook, then a kick, then I might do jab, cross, and then a left kick. Already, you've confused your pad holder, you've confused yourself, and then when you want to practice that combination a few times before you put it on Instagram, what's gonna happen now is you're thinking too much. When you think too much, it means you gotta pull back the speed and the intensity, which then is gonna make the video look bad. And a lot of times it's hard being the pad holder, because when you bring that speed and intensity, and you can ask a lot of my guys on my team, it's overwhelming. The speed, the power, the intensity, they're on camera too. So small combinations sequenced together will help your combinations look better. Now, number 4, you want to end with a little bit of flash. You want to have a little bit of flair. So if you look at my combinations, I like to end with something flashy. It doesn't have to be crazy. Sometimes you'll see a spinning hook kick, which is probably the most crazy I would end something with. Then I'll scale it down sometimes to a flying knee. I get the kick, all of a sudden they're going boom, scissor knees to end the combination. But my ultimate favorite is the head kick. And if you're gonna throw all the combinations round on pads, get that last one upstairs to show your audience that you got the finish. And to me, that's beautiful, right? Because it's a logical combination that ends with something that's gonna knock out your opponent. If I'm gonna do this big, hard combination, then end with a few maybe soft combinations or a few jabs at the end, it's like, no, I wanna end strong, powerful to make it look good, okay? Number 5, right? It's gonna sound weird, but how do you look in the video? Get a little sweat before you post, all right? The sweat's gonna help you, one, look more intense. If you're dry, it looks like you staged the video. So when you're practicing warm, but encourage the sweat. Get yourself sweating before you get on the videos, because it's just gonna make like your videos look more intense, more motivational, more inspirational, because you're working hard, right? Get a glimpse of that. So what I like to do is I'll do my pad work, I'll get in a good warm-up, good mobility. My hips are loose, right? Sometimes your hips are tight, and that's not the kicks that I want to put on Instagram. So do some light pad work before. As you're building up the sequence, you're warming up. Combination 1, do combination 1. Then, okay, let's add a second part. So before I even post the 15-second clip, I've already warmed up for about 10, 15 minutes. But I'm not going hard on these combinations, right? I'm just practicing it to warm up and to loosen up. Then when it's time, right? When the camera's on, you bring the heat, you intensity, and you have the energy to be able to perform, because I guarantee you, it might take a few takes, right? You might not be happy on the first one. There might be a little slip up. You and the pad holder might be off sync a little bit. So you're gonna have to do it again. So warm up, but keep that energy to bring that full heat into the video. Now, the 6th and final tip I'm gonna give you is make some noise, right? If you're gonna hit, don't hold your breath. Let it out. It sounds very aggressive. It sounds more mean when you're hitting, right? You should be doing it naturally, but when you're doing it on the camera, let it go. Whoosh, 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 you know, breathe, let that sound go. Some of the best hitters are the loudest, you know? Some of the good pad work guys you can see, like Liam Harrison, he makes so much noise when he hits pad, you know? Jonathan Hardy, I like the sound and the breathing, and like, those are good examples of ways of just yelling and screaming. Make it look intense, right? And when you film it, get close, right? You don't want to get too far away where you're disconnected. Let the audience feel close to you so they can see all of these little tips that I gave you, okay? So, quick little recap. Remember, Instagram now tends to be the popular way, and we want to look and show our audience how good we're getting, our progression, right? So follow these 6 tips that I'm going to give you. Remember, full extension, speed, right? Get the little sweat, build your combination, the long combinations in little sequences, get a little sweat, and get the camera engaged. Get them nice and close, and let your audience know how intense your pad work is, all right? I hope this helps you, right? And I hope the examples that I gave you in this video really show you, and I hope you're following me on Instagram at Bazooka Joe V, so you can see these videos as I'm posting about 2 combinations a week, and hopefully I keep up with it. So make sure you follow for that, and even follow at Bazooka Kickboxing, because I have a lot of my team, the Team Bazooka members, posting their combos on there as well. So a lot of these types of combinations and how we work them to look good on Instagram, and examples for you to follow. All right, make sure you keep liking and subscribing to Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. We're doing well with all the subscribers here, so thank you very much for that. Make sure you support the channel sponsors. Hayabusa Fight, as their gear is my personal favorite and been using them for years. Perfect Sports Nutrition, check the link below and use code Bazooka20 for 20% off of your stuff, as well as bazookashop.com for Bazooka merchandise. And last but not least, the most important is bazookatraining.com, where you can get more training from me, where I teach lessons on a weekly basis. I'm basically giving you 4 videos a week. On Instagram, you know, you're getting your pad work. On YouTube, you're getting about 2 to 3 videos a week. But bazookatraining.com, you're getting 4 training videos: a home workout, a bag workout, a tutorial, and some sparring drills, all right? So a lot of good information there on a weekly basis, $9.99 per month. bazookatraining.com. All right, we'll see you next time here. Stay learning, stay safe, and stay training with the Bazooka curriculum at Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA.
Over 1 year in lockdown, an empty gym, a divided community, many questions unanswered.
They're doing the best they can, trying to save their business.
But on one man's 36th birthday, he decided to fight back. now for only $9.99 USD a month. BazookaTraining.com.